My attempts to avoid violence have failed. An eye for an eye only makes the world blind.
This time it's massively making more
Content.
yes, let's go with that.
Massively making more content.
Yes.
I have a Faygo black cherry soda, and I have half of a Dairy Queen Blizzard that I saved from yesterday because it was too big.
I have no idea what that is, but cool.
I did random leader, and I ended up with. Should I
No.
tell you? Okay, all right, I won't tell you.
I have some Japanese plum liquor, not too strong, like 15%. And with that, because I've been using tonic a lot recently, I'll be having some tonic.
Is Scotch and soda a drink or just a clothing store? I don't know, because I only know the store, so I don't know if it's named after a real drink or it's not real.
Like whiskey soda is a thing, and that's actually something I had in Japan quite many times because it was easy to order.
The word for whiskey and the word for soda are obvious enough.
How do you like your starting?
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay.
It's fine. It could be better. It's a lot more tundra than I wish I had.
I'm actually pretty happy with Tundra.
Russia gets like a tundra bonus, right?
1 production and 1 fate.
Oh yeah, that's actually amazing. What do you usually go for in Civ? My favorite is to do culture victory. But I'm talking about the one with like tourism points.
Yeah, that one is pretty hard too, right?
Yeah, I think science is honestly the easiest to go for because you're just beefing up your empire as you also win. Like it's a no-brainer.
Right. There's no economic victory, right? But they did add a religious victory for Civ 6.
Victory, yeah.
So I actually don't know how that works.
To win a religious victory, I think you have to convert at least half of the cities for every civilization. So like every player, you have to dominate their empire in terms of religion.
Oh, there's Gandhi in the game.
Oh, nice. We're gonna get nuked.
In season 2 of MMM, we are doing a mixed media review. Mixed media review. Woo!
Oh,
mixed media review.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
So, do we wanna review some mixed media? Or do we wanna talk about something controversial like we usually do?
Oh, 2 really, really good options.
For the first episode, we both have chosen a random 20-minute episode from an animated series.
It might not always be this specific, but this time it was fairly specific.
Which one should we do first?
Let's do mine first, and that is Legend of Korra, Season 3, Episode 10, Operation Bayfong.
No matter the track, full speed, burn rubber, tar marks left on the streets. You can't catch me, even if you blink 300 miles of light. Cross the finish twice, and the third time was fighting.
The reason I picked this episode specifically for its fight scenes. Yeah, there's a confrontation at the end when they kind of get caught escaping prison. When I come back to this episode, I come back to it to watch that fight. The rest of the episode is not even that good.
What's your like feelings on Korra?
It's fine. I think one thing I noted while making this episode, my feelings on Korra are very similar to my feelings on this episode, which is it's cool world building.
Wait, sorry, towards what? Same as towards what? I missed it.
Oh, same as my feelings on this episode specifically. Yeah, where I think it's cool world building. It's usually pretty interesting action, but it just really often fumbles the execution.
I have to stop you there because for a moment I thought you were talking about the episode we're recording. I was like, oh, you have like feelings towards this thing. I think that's actually pretty well said. So I've only seen, prior to this, I've seen season 1. So I have to also say that for that much I'm not also a huge on Korra. For me it's just like, it's really hard to like follow up on Last Airbender.
So you are going into this episode with no Korra context?
No, I know like the outline of the story from like some YouTube stuff, and I of course knew like the characters from season 1, and I was able to pick up the pieces pretty decent. I assume you are a Last Airbender fan.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Quite fast noticed the same problems that I usually had with Korra. Kind of trying to be for an older audience than Airbender. Like, makes sense because it came later and like you're trying to maybe catch the same audience. But I think in that effort they made it less universal, if that makes sense. Because I feel like they are really pushing for some of that like relationship stuff.
Yeah, I felt they really didn't find a way to do a good job with that.
Yeah, and then they're like really pushing into like Korra's angst at the beginning. So
they go heavy on the angst.
so yeah, I'm not really that huge fan of the characters, but it's not a bad show. I'm a little split on do I like the animation or not. To me, it looks worse than Airbender.
Because they do some like 3D animation stuff.
Yeah.
It sticks out in a weird way.
Yeah, the fight scene, that was nice. Yeah, it was a little shorter than I had expected.
It's short,
but it's
short and sweet.
Short and sweet, yeah.
I really like it, like I said, as kind of a showcase of the earthbending, metal bending thing. I really like the quick, fast-paced intensity of it. I always like when a fight scene uses the environment in an interesting way, and I think this one does it really well.
I forget her name, but she grabs like the railing part of the railing and uses it as a staff, like in this like pretty effortless like scene, like it just flows pretty nicely. Nice to see some bending again. I think earth bending has always been kind of my favorite. Like all fights that Toph has in Last Airbender are always one of my favorites. They get really creative with the earth bending, in my opinion. A little awkward 3D mechs in the mix, but
and I think that is just classic Legend of Korra as well. Like dual fights with a little bit of awkward 3D.
By the way, I just need to point to you that I'm really good at this befriending stuff because I'm already friends with Candy.
Yo, how?
I don't know. I just have my way with the NPCs, you know.
Does he do it?
I suggest that instead of like using a typical 1 to 10 ranking, we would rank these various multimedia stuff on a enjoyment-o-meter, where instead of a ranking we give the percentage out of 100 of how much we enjoyed.
Should you go first or should I go first for the inaugural ranking?
I'll give you, like, you're the guest here, so you know I'll let you go first.
Excellent. I wanna say something like a 54%.
You know how like getting through season 3 of Breaking Bad is like almost unbearable, so you know it wasn't like that. So
yeah, nearly impossible. Absolutely.
I'm gonna go with 56.
Great. Okay. Really tight distribution.
I was slightly worried because I was slightly like, oh no, do I have to be mean towards like Tinker's favorite show or something? So I was feeling slightly worried. My empire is like the Jupiter. We were playing on the true map thing, and I had this epic journey of like settlers going from Germany all the way to Australia, and then once we got there, I lost my settlers to a barbarian scout.
Oh no!
So then I just created a city named Australia in North America. So this is gonna be the most visually pleasing game for people to watch, especially when we are like hardly talking about what we're doing and just playing. I think I just can layer some Subway Surfers on top of the gameplay.
Well, one corner is Civ, one corner is Subway Surfer, and then one corner is the episode or thing that we're talking about.
The full episode, mirrored, upside down, negative colors.
yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Are we ready to talk about episode 6 of season 1 of Baki?
殺されると思ったかって花山がですかやっぱりあなたたちは分かってない花山薫という人物を
What I like about Baki and shows like that is that it's really, even though it's like quite similar to same feeling as JoJo's, it's still like all of them offer you an experience you can't quite get on another show. They are kind of doing their own thing. But the really thing that like cracks me up is just like how they handle a lot of the... We'll get into this later, but there were a lot of like random lore segments suddenly And
Yes. Oh,
and the
definitely.
announcer explaining a lot of that stuff, and that is really like a JoJo's thing, and like that's really for the Baki too. They would just like randomly spend some time on like this is kind of like this thing, or like kind of equivalent to this thing, and just like, explaining some random phenomena and almost truths, and like I think my favorite part is where it's like I think it's called like an flashbang grenade. It's they sometimes use it and it just give you some flashbang grenade lore out of nowhere.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that. Like, let me explain the idea of a grenade.
You're not entirely sure if it's even accurate. It could be.
Yeah, yeah. They might have made up how a grenade would work for this anime.
The explanation sounds reasonable, but it also be like, it's a conclusion you can see a person who's not done that much research come to, you know?
Right.
I can see the train of thought on how to arrive there usually.
It's like a 13-year-old explaining a flashbang grenade from like CS:GO. It wasn't even just that one time either. It was a consistent thing where I did not know anything about this story. I knew like the 20-second summary you had given me previously, which is like these 5 guys escaped from prison to fight these other 5 guys or whatever. But it's so they explain enough to like give you just little crumbs of background. Like the way they talked about police versus fighters, I was like, oh, so are the fighters like illegal? Like, is this a totally illegal thing? They never clarify, of course, but they do a lot of like little explanations. I was like, and this is why police should, in some limited circumstances, have machine guns. I'm like, okay.
Also, the reason why I chose this episode is because, like, just very well condenses the experience of watching Baki into one episode. And also, there's, like, the kind of twist into the, like, usually the fights don't happen like that, like, because this one was told by the police guy in a report.
Yeah. It was an interesting narrative device of, like, constant flashbacks.
Like, the fight scene itself isn't like the greatest, or like it's fun, but like there's better fights in Baki in itself. But I just like how the takes you through it, like with these explanations and pauses, and like
it was extraordinarily graphic. Like they did not hold back. I found it quite fun. Being blind to the greater plot. Mm-hmm. It's a really not even cool, goofy almost way to present like this extremely violent Flash. So that was neat. They didn't just show you the fight, because they could have just showed you a super bloody fight. But they didn't do that. They like had this narrative device of police report, which gives it a tension that it wouldn't otherwise have if you were just watching them battle. I thought that was cool. I think it may have been too violent.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I think it tipped the scale of like I wanted to look away at some points. I was like, is he really like punching through someone's ear to their brain? Like this is it was more than I usually preferred.
You get used to it, but like there's still at points where I'm like, okay, that was unnecessary, you know. How many percents on the enjoyment meter would you give Baki season 1 episode 6?
I'm gonna give it 71.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun. It was a little too much on the gory violence, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it still.
I really like this episode. It's just like, especially for me already being used to this kind of. So this is an episode I do enjoy quite a bit. So I think I'll give it a solid 81. The soundtrack could be better.
Yeah, I didn't really notice the soundtrack.
Would you consider seeing more?
I don't know. I think genuinely I was turned off by the fight. Do you know the concept of the dead body to cubic centimeter ratio?
Okay. Educate me.
Answer me yes or no. Let's say you're going for a little day out. You don't have work. It's a beautiful summer. It's a beautiful July day. Would you go, and you're at a beach, would you go swim in the ocean?
No.
You wouldn't? Okay.
Did I ruin up the thing?
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Don't worry. Your ratio might be different than mine. Let's say you're at a friend's house and they actually have a big pool in their backyard and it's well chlorinated and it's a pool party. Are you going swimming in that pool?
Sure.
Let's say there's also a dead body floating in the pool. Are you gonna swim in the pool?
No, I'm not gonna swim in the...
Okay, so for every person, there's a ratio of number of dead bodies to volume of water at which they would swim.
Right.
Hundreds, thousands of dead bodies in the ocean. But you don't mind because the volume of the ocean, the ratio. But if there's one dead body in a small body of water, you're not going anywhere near that. And so this is a very long-winded way of saying I feel like the amount of violence was such that I wouldn't enjoy consistently seeing a series. If this was an exception and like this was the episode where there's this brutal fight and it's crazy, I'd probably be in. But I appreciate that you warned me that like the rest of the series is mostly like this.
Do you have a thing ready for next episode's review? Because you know me, I do. So I always...
I have a thing.
You have a thing. Okay, great.
I guarantee you we will not have picked the same thing. I'm guessing we'll have picked things that are quite different.
Yeah. Good.
We joked about this in season 1. I have found a wine which is available at both the LCBO and the alcohol.
Let's go!
I checked both the websites. I was like, there's gotta be some overlap from like Spain or something. Like, and sure enough, there's the Don David Malbec, which both of us can get at our respective government licensed alcohol shops.
Everybody drink at least one bottle of this wine for next episode. Preferably like 2. So, I'm actually taking us...
What have you got
I'm taking
for
us back to music. It's more of a visual audio thing, because I think we are going to be watching all 11 of the JoJo's openings that there are.
Whoa!
Because I think they are like the best openings in my opinion that there are.
Nice, okay.
There's a few videos on YouTube that compiles like all of them into one.
It's like an album.
Yeah. Like some of the openings have like a few versions, so don't get spooked if one of them like plays 2 times in a row. I'm really hyped for the wine tasting, honestly.
मैं नैतिकता की कुर्बानी दिए बिना इस जंग में हिस्सा ले सकता हूं। मत पूछिए कैसे, आप नहीं समझेंगे।
You have to have fun names for your cities, of course.
Oh, I should come up with some good names.
I'm a very classical republic guy, you know.
Oh, where is India about to settle? Oh, I don't like that.
Should we get rid of this India? Honestly, it's becoming a...
I think we might have to. Although, I noticed your military strength is 2 right now.
After the gig, like, one of my friends were like, yeah, this would have required some drugs.
I don't know if I want to go to this big crowded festival and get barfed on by a 19-year-old to see Weezer.
How do I get this builder to that city? Wait, I have open borders with Kandy. Alright.
I sent you a delegation.
Pog, I love those.
We love delegations.
We love delegations. Some of my favorite people are great. Yay, they are Protestant. Pog.
Hell yeah.
As we say in the business, Pog.
Got him.
So I do think it's a new feature in the game that you can kill the dog from the scout.
It's cruel, honestly. Whoa, I just did a fucking whirlwind chop. Okay, I gotta decide what I should name my cities. I need to name them something clever.
No, it can be something not clever too. It's fine.
I love Civ so much. Oh, barbarian boats.
You know, it's a real racket they're running with those boats.
That's absolutely right. You said it. There's actually no need to panic right now.
Yeah. This is the calmest you could ever be, honestly.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
I think we should try fight them together. Ooh. Oh, Gandhi, you sweet summer child, you're so gullible.
Did you honestly think my troops were just passing by? The time flies when you're standing the test of time.
I will start the war next turn. Let's see what happens. So I think we'll start with this. Oh, I have to declare war. I guess I'm friends with him. Oh, I can't declare a war on him because we're friends.
Oh no, you're too friendly.
Mighty awkward. How long will it last? Where can I see? Declare friendship. 17 more turns. This is...
The war that never happened.
Go watch Lentil Fantasy, you cowards!